So today is going to be a little ranty. And if you're not into that sort of thing, I get it. Fine. I highly encourage you to go find something else on the interwebs. But today is going to be a little ranty. This is daily content. You're not going to get me at my best, most bubbly form 100% of the time. I, for the most part, try to be a positive person, but also I do have moments wherein I just won't accept bullshit from people. And so we are going to be talking about that while making some amazing, products today. And I'm going to tell you all about what all of those things are in just a minute. But before I do, hello, I am Mrs. Soap and Clay. Let's make stuff. How's it going, Sudzers? Welcome back to the channel. You are at Soap and Clay, where we make all the soapy things, and you are here for day 76 of 365 days of soap. And today, we're making some awesome bath bombs. And these bath bombs are awesome. And they have a really excellent, very cool musician-themed theme. But really what we're going to be talking about in all of this is wholesale accounts. And I get a lot of questions about should I not? What are the pros? What are the cons? And I see a lot of questions on the interwebs. Somebody wanted to buy my soap in bulk and then resell it. Should I do it? Is it worth the time? All of the things. And for the most part, I would say, yeah, wholesale accounts have been really very fulfilling for me. And yes, I love wholesale accounts for sure. I probably love them more because I have literally never actively sought out a wholesale account. They always come to me. And so that's great. Like, there was no legwork. You want the products. You keep coming back and keep buying the products. Bulk is easier to sell. All the things. But every once in a while, wholesale accounts can get very difficult. And I am going to talk about that today. And I guess maybe the seedy underbelly of wholesale accounts and what you can do when you find yourself in a position with a wholesale client that, I don't know, is not conducive to your sanity or your business's health. So we're going to do that while we watch the Soap Apprentice make a whole bunch of amazing bath bombs that she designed. She put a lot of work into this. You know now. So let's go there. Oh my God, my eyes hurt doing this today. Okay, so the editing on this was ridiculous. And I guess that's really fitting based on what this series ultimately was. Ridiculous is the answer to that. So, we're going to have a little story time. I've had a lot of people ask me about the pros and cons of getting wholesale accounts. And for the most part, I think wholesale accounts are a very big pro. Like, I personally love doing wholesale accounts because they order in big bulk, and that's awesome. And it's not... It doesn't have to sit on your shelf for you to sell it. It's somebody else's whatever. And they always reorder. They always reorder quickly. It's great. I love the wholesale arrangement in general. You have to be careful with wholesale accounts, though. You need to make sure that you have your wholesale policies dialed in. I'm not kidding. That's very important once you start wholesale accounts and, something that they sign stating such. Now, the reason why I'm talking about wholesale accounts and showing you this footage is because this was a series that was ultimately supposed to go to a wholesale account. Ish. So some backstory on this particular wholesale account. A couple years ago, this gal contacted me and she wanted to do a themed set of bath bombs, but she made it sound like she was doing it for gifts. And she wanted to be in the soap shop while they were being made, and maybe she could help out with them. And so I was thinking, well, I mean, maybe she's done a class with me before, because workshops are a very common thing. And I do offer discounts for people who just want to come in and like make their own things after they've done a class. And so I was under the impression that this was for a gift thing. And so she comes in and I find out through the process of, the soapprentice and I'm making these bath bombs and chit-chatting with this person that it's not a gift thing. She's planning on freaking selling them. But I had already quoted her a very, very low price. Like my costs were not even covered for this. They were not covered. Again, I just thought it was a cool idea for a gift thing and whatever. And so lesson learned for me, I did not do my due diligence and actually really ask all the right questions for that. And so I made a mental note and chalked it up to, a lesson learned and a one-off and, would pay attention in the future to these sorts of things. Because my God, she was actually selling these things for like wildly more than whatever. It doesn't matter. Okay. Fast forward 2 years later. I get an email from her saying that she wants to do just 4 more bombs in this new theme. And that was it. Now, normally we have a design thing. Usually wholesale clients come to us with ideas of what they want, like pretty dialed in ideas. Or if they don't, we sort of mock something up and, okay, does this work or whatever? Anyway, it took like 6 months to get her to, we'd done the designs, we had sent them through for what ultimately went from 4 bombs to 15 bombs, to 15 different types of bombs for this series or whatever. And the soapprentice designed them all, figured out the scents for all of them, figured out the colors and all of the things. And she did an amazing job. That's the piece of paper that she continues to show you in all of this. It's part of her designs for this. So the soapprentice designed all of these things. I sent them through and I did not hear back from this gal for at least a month after I'd sent them through originally, right? After I'd let her know what my wholesale policies are and all of that jazz. So I, again, let her know what the wholesale policies were, sent those all through so she knew what the price points were, the minimum quantities, all of the things. And then I also let her know in the initial email that I have been offering to my wholesale, clients, just, a free plug on the channel, on the YouTube channel thing, and linking to their websites, because a lot of the people that watch my videos, they're interested in getting a product, but if they can't get it from me, well, I'm going to point them in the direction of where they can get it. And so, that's literally what I said. I said, I have been offering my wholesale clients a free plug of your social medias if I decide to do a video on the product that I'm making for you. Okay. So again, we send this through and a month goes by, don't hear from her. She's aware of my lead times. Back in like April when we talked, the lead times were like 3 or 4 weeks out for wholesale orders once the design had been finalized. And when I finally heard back from her in June, okay, my lead times had extended to 7 weeks on wholesale orders because I'm very, very busy. And as you get further into the year, lead times do extend because you get more and more wholesale orders. And so I told her that that's also what it was. So instead, so that's Lauryn Hill. Cool. She's going to do Lauryn Hill. I love that. And so instead, of actually paying attention to what my lead times were and all the jazz, she messaged and said she had to have all of these bombs by the end of the month, which at that point was in like 3 days. And she figured that we could slot her in because, well, she's been in communication with us for so long. And then she asked how many videos I was going to make for this. And I was getting a really bad feeling about the entire thing, right? Like none of it was really stacking up well with me. And so I went ahead and I told her, I was like, I don't know if we're going to do videos for this, but if we do, it'll just be one. And she responds with, okay, cool, but I do need footage for each and every bomb. And I hit her back with, wait, you want my footage? What are you doing? I then basically, long story short, I find out that she's wanting to essentially put my video footage on her website and pass it off as like she's making it. And that's, white labeling is a whole ass thing. But that's something that you can or cannot do with a wholesale account. You don't have to, right? You don't have to allow your stuff to be white labeled. I think the rumor going around right now is Dr. Squatch is in fact white label. Like they don't make any of their soaps. And that's fine. But for the price point that I quoted her for a wholesale price on bath bombs, that obviously does not include video footage, but she expected me to release my raw video footage, or even an edited video at the low price of half of my list price of bath bombs, which was just, and I told her, I was like, that is a different price point. That is, you're charging, you're paying by the minute at that point for video footage. And so this is not something that, I'm going to do. And she continued to ask, okay, I really need some footage, just some footage, anything would work. And it wasn't just an issue of like linking my video on her website, because of course she can do that. My YouTube video is out. Anybody can link that. That's fine. She wanted my footage to manipulate as she, saw fit. And so I had such a bad feeling about all of this that I ultimately went, you know what, we're not doing this. And I told her this. I was like, we are not going to be able to fulfill this order in time, because also she was changing the designs as she was wanting these bombs in like 4 days or whatever. And I'm trying to work with her and completely disrupt the schedule to accommodate. But then she keeps asking for more, each and everything. I exchanged something like at least 13 emails with her, long-winded emails with her in the course of like a 4-hour period. And I'm busy as shit every day. I have 22,000 unread emails currently sitting in my inbox right now. And so that I was spending this kind of time with this was just, and I'm just asking myself, what am I doing? How is this? And do you feel good about this? And ultimately, the Soapprentice was freaked out because I'm showing her all the emails or whatever. So now she's getting big nervous. Like, well, what if I mess up these bombs? What if she hates my design? What if, whatever. And I ultimately made the decision to just, email her and let her know we're not going to be able to hit those time restraints. And I'm not going to fulfill this order for you. The Soapprentice is going to go ahead and use her designs the way that she wants. And that's it. And this gal then proceeded to email me another like 7 times going, no, we have to do this. Point is with all of this, okay? Wholesale accounts can be amazing. I love 99.9% of my wholesale accounts. I have great relationships with them. They all work out very well. Pearl Jam, we're going to do Pearl Jam. This is awesome. They all work out very well. We have a great relationship. It runs smoothly, and it is a very quick way to make, a lot of money. And again, not have to worry about keeping the inventory, selling the inventory, doing the thing. I love wholesale accounts for that reason. But with situations like this is the reason why you need to make sure that you, have your wholesale policies very firmly in place. What do you want? What is your minimum order? Do you offer discounts? At what price point do you offer discounts? Are you okay with white labeling? Are you okay with labeling the products for them? What is the upcharge for that? Do you have time frames set up and you stick to those lead times? Have something for them to sign. And in the case of like video footage and stuff, well, what is that time worth? Because editing a video is stop. Just whatever. Anyway, and you also, most importantly, have to be willing to tell someone no. Sometimes wholesale accounts are going to come at you and ask for things that you either cannot be accomplished, or you don't want to do them, or it doesn't sit well with you. Whatever. It doesn't really matter what the overarching, sometimes things aren't going to work, and you have to be the type of person that is okay with saying no and pushing back and saying this can't be done because thus, or it just can't be done, and being firm and sticking to that. I have found myself in a situation where I am breaking my back for someone and thus derailing all of the rest of my, production schedule too many times. And so me learning to say no that's actually kind of a difficult thing for me, learning how to say no. And so, yes, wholesale accounts, they're great. I really recommend them. I think it's a good idea for sure. If you think you can scale up and do the thing, yeah, pick up wholesale accounts for sure. I've been very lucky in that they all come to me. And it's very rare that I have one of these instances. But, I did end up with one of these instances. And so we ultimately did not fulfill this order and did part ways with this wholesale account permanently. But since the Soapprentice designed so many awesome bombs, we decided to go ahead and do these. So we have the Royalties, the White Stripe, Aerosmith, the Ramones, Pearl Jam, and the Flaming Lips. Was that the last one? And she did such a good job figuring out the designs and the colors and the scents and everything for all of these bombs. And we had already put so much time into it that, I was like, well, let's just do them. And, at the very least, we have some cool footage and a reason to talk about wholesale accounts, I suppose. And, whatever. Again, they are the Soapprentice's designs, and it sucks. She was excited about doing these. And these are the King bombs. So they're all music themed. I know I'm just going on a little storytime rant right now because I'm just still big shooketh about this entire thing. But we have the Kings here. So we have Bob Marley and Bob Dylan and Barry White and the Johnny Cash. Right. And she did so good figuring out, like, this is a Cannabomb, right? For Bob Marley, because of course it is. And it was just, I was very, very impressed with all of the designs that the Soapprentice did for all of this, that I thought, let's go ahead and make them anyway. Record Store Day is like now. And so we can do that and we work on an Ave. We work on a street that has like 4 record stores. And so, slam dunk, love that. But, also cool little, I don't know, showing the Soapprentice's skills and being able to flex in different ways, really. So these are the Queens: Nina Simone, Dolly Parton, Lauryn Hill, and Jean Ritchie. And I'm so impressed with the Soapprentice's designs and everything that she did. But yeah, ultimately, just be willing to say no, be willing to stand up for yourself and your business and your needs, and don't try to break your back to please literally everyone in the world, because you're not going to please literally everyone in the world. And sometimes businesses just don't jive. Sometimes companies don't work well together, and that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. But, wholesale account's good, but sometimes you're going to get weird horror stories. But at the end of the day, we ended up with 13 really kick-ass bombs, and that is day 76. So yeah, there are like 13 bombs in this set, in this series, all amazing and really well developed by the Soapprentice. Like, she gave it her all with the thinking of, the white stripes should look like this and it should smell like thus, or Bob Dylan should be the... It was incredible. The thought and the time and everything that she put into this was beautiful. And it ultimately ended up being for a wholesale client that I had to part ways with. And that's okay. That is fine. As I said in emails to this wholesale account, not all businesses are going to vibe together. There are like 8 billion people on the planet, right? We're not all going to get along. We are not all going to mesh well together, and that's completely fine. And for me personally, with the amount of work that went into this and the amount of stress that it was causing and the very real entitlement that I was getting from this particular wholesale account, it just wasn't a good fit. And let that maybe be a lesson to you when you are thinking about overly jumping through hoops for people, because obviously you want to make your customers happy, all customers, no matter what. But there's a limit to the things that you should put yourself through in order to do so. And sometimes you just have to cut bait and just be fine with saying no. And that's one of the biggest problems I ever had in the beginning of, the whole soapy whatever. I would never say no. And I would break my neck and break my back and break my soul trying to accommodate somebody else's vision while they were essentially expecting more of me than I should have ever had to have been or could reasonably deliver. So yeah, at the end of the day, wholesale accounts are great. I recommend doing them. If you can, do that thing for sure, but not if it's going to sacrifice your sanity. So just keep that in mind, whatever. Thank you for letting me rant today. I really appreciate that, like for sure. If you are interested in more soapy antics and all the things, you know the drill. You subscribe, you like, you comment, you help with the algorithm and the analytics, and that's awesome. For my sudsers that do that and are subscribed and they like and they comment and they help with the algorithm and all the things, thanks. You're awesome. Having you here with me actually makes weird days and weird stressful situations like this way more bearable than they were before. So I really appreciate that. I am out of here for today. I will see you guys all again tomorrow for another round of soapy fun. Bye.